You might know the best drills for beginners to use to improve their swimming, but do you know where you should start? In this video, I'll show you how to figure out which skills are most important for you to improve today. Hi, this is Andrew Sheaf with Mastering Flow. I help you dramatically improve your swimming by providing simple, actionable strategies that you can implement right now. I believe that everyone has the power to improve in all areas of life. All they need is a little guidance. Let's get better today. In this video, we're going to learn how to maximize your progress and minimize the time and effort you spend while improving your swimming. We're going to do so by avoid working on the wrong skills with the wrong drills. That's an outcome you'll achieve by knowing which skills you should work on first. Being a beginner is the best of times and the worst of times. The best part is that you get really exciting breakthroughs that make you believe that anything is possible. The worst part is that you'll often get reminders of how little you know and how far you need to go. Those are the days when you might feel like giving up. I know how being a beginner is equally frustrating and equally exhilarating. The goal here is to learn how to ride the highs and avoid the lows. Another challenge is that there's often a lot that you need to improve. However, it's difficult to know where to place your focus. And trying to do everything is a recipe for disaster. In my last video, I talked about the best drills for beginners. Even if you're not a beginner, those drills are awesome for you to use if you want to improve. While it's great to know which drills are going to be the most impactful, it's difficult to know where you should focus. You're probably thinking, well, which drill should I work on? Where should I place my focus? Which will help me improve the most? Today, I'm going to help you figure out which drills and which skills are most important for you to work on. That way, you can accomplish your goals in less time and with less effort. Before we get into the specific symptoms and the specific causes, I would recommend that everyone spend 1 to 2 minutes in their warm-up and their warm-down working on floating exercises. This is especially true if you consider yourself a beginner. They are that important and that helpful for everyone, regardless of your skill level. With that being said, let's get into it. Here is your simple solution. Problem number 1, swimming is exhausting. Is swimming completely exhausting to you? Do you feel like all of your fitness and all of your endurance disappears once you step foot in the water? If so, there's a problem that you need to work on first. Body position. Poor position makes everything more difficult. Moving through the water with low hips and low legs requires a ton of energy. To make matters worse, most will try to compensate by kicking to try to get the hips up. And of course, that takes even more energy. For both reasons, it's going to feel like you're sprinting at full effort all the time. When framed that way, no wonder it feels like you have no endurance. And if you don't take the time and effort to improve your body position, everything else is going to be much more difficult to improve. If this sounds like you, the ball float and the ball float to X float are going to be your best friends. They show you how to use your lungs to support yourself in the water, which will allow you to relax. They also show you how to change your position in the water by either pressing into your lungs with your head and your chest, or lifting up with your legs by creating tension in the backside of your body. This can make a huge difference in terms of the positions you create. More importantly, it affects how much energy it takes to move yourself through the water. That means a lot more endurance and a much more enjoyable swimming experience. If you work on these skills, how will you know if you've made progress? If your swimming is easier, you've definitely made progress. If you find yourself able to swim continuously for longer periods of time, you've definitely made progress. If swimming is exhausting for you, improvement is less about speed and more about sustainability. It's more about reducing the subjective sensation of effort and improving your ability to swim for longer periods, although your speed will likely improve as a result. Less effort and more endurance are only possible by improving your position in the water. While it may not feel like it right now, endurance is available to anyone provided they work on these key skills. Problem number 2. I wiggle through the water. You've probably seen someone wiggling through the water as they swim. It may have even been you. The best way to find out if you're wiggling is just to ask someone. You don't even have to ask an expert, as it's something that anyone can observe, even if they've never swum before. If you don't have that option, pay attention to 2 things you're doing when you swim. First, pay attention to whether your head is moving around a lot. If it is, you're probably wiggling. Second, pay attention to whether it feels like your legs have a mind of their own. If they do, you're almost certainly wiggling. So what do you do about it? Wiggling is almost always a rotation problem. You're not rotating enough, which is causing problems with your arm recoveries, forcing your arms to swing side to side. The swinging arms are moving your shoulders side to side, which are moving your hips side to side, which are moving your legs side to side. All of that is creating a lot of drag, slowing you down and making your life a lot harder than it needs to be. So what do? You learn to rotate within the rhythm of your stroke and use direct arm actions. And what's the easiest way to make that happen? Underwater recovery. Because the arm actions are much simpler, you can really focus on reaching straight forward and pulling straight back. Even better, recovering your arms underwater tends to force you to rotate at the right time, exactly what you want. A lot of other rotation exercises allow you to rotate more, but they're completely unrelated to actual freestyle. This exercise helps you rotate within the timing and the feel of actual freestyle. It just makes it much easier to do so. Perform a couple repetitions, then go back to regular freestyle with the intention of rotating while making direct arm recoveries. Just rinse and repeat. That's the key to getting rid of the dreaded wiggle. Number 3, my breathing is not awesome. For many, breathing is a big problem. To start, I want to differentiate between problems of running out of air and problems with breathing technique. It's not the same. If you're constantly out of breath, it's probably a body position issue as described above. Fix that first. You won't be able to improve your breathing technique if you can't get your breathing under control. How do you know if you have a breathing technique problem? Put a paddle on your head and start swimming. If you can't keep it on your head after a little practice, you have a breathing problem. That means you're picking your head up, to the side, or both. While it may seem unbelievable or unreasonable, you should be able to keep your paddle on your head when you swim. What if you can't? You can start performing this same exercise, which I call paddle cap freestyle. You can use it to get better at breathing. If you can make progress with that, great. Keep doing it. However, if your breathing needs a lot of work, paddle cap freestyle may be a bridge too far to start with. Instead, work on stroke and roll with the intention of rolling to the breath as opposed to lifting the head and pulling to the side. Alternate between the exercise and freestyle swimming while working on rolling through the drill, and keep the breath small while swimming. Alternate between the drill and freestyle swimming, working on rolling through the drill, and keep the breath small while swimming. Once you've made some progress here, then go back and see if you can have more success with paddle cap freestyle. If you can, you've made some serious progress with your breathing. The 4th problem, swimming is easy, but I am slow. If you can swim forever without getting too tired, that means your body position is probably pretty good, you're not wiggling much at all, and your breathing is pretty locked in. If you struggle with any of those issues, it tends to make swimming a lot harder. They all waste a lot of energy, so if you can sustain your swimming pretty well, the biggest issue you need to improve probably resides elsewhere. And where might that be? Almost certainly your pull. The pull is the engine. If you have the best body position in the world, but no engine, you're not going to go anywhere fast. You need a motor to get moving. Most mistakes with the pull come down to failing to get in the right position and failing to pull straight back. As I mentioned last time, the wall pull is the best bet for getting into the right positions and feeling the right sensations. It helps you learn to get into the key positions and learn what to do once you're there. Best of all, it's a drill you can't mess up. You just get into the right position and go from there. To get your pull back on track, perform it in between repetitions of freestyle or pull-focused drills. Recreate the key positions and the key sensations as you go, and your pull is going to get a lot better. Now, what if everything is a problem? What should you do if all of these issues resonates with you and you're not sure where to start? Begin with the basics. Lock in your body position and work on not getting exhausted quite so fast. If you improve here, it sets the stage for improving in other areas, and it makes the process a lot easier. What if you need help? Want to know exactly what to work on and exactly how to do it? Take advantage of my world-class expertise with Fix Your Freestyle Fast. I'll show you exactly what skill you need to improve and exactly how to do it. Get started by clicking on the link in the video description below. As always, keep it simple and keep getting better.